Welcome back, everybody. We're back, Kathy and Susan, to Bachelor Happy Hour's Golden Hour. Thanks for joining us. Wait till you see who we get to talk to today.
It's so exciting. It's just, my heart would be melting if his heart weren't already taken. But our special guest, we will chat with him in just a minute. We'll make you just wait to find out who it is. But in the meantime, make sure that you're submitting your questions to us. Just go to bachelornation.com/golden hour. Submit away. We love hearing from you.
Yep. Send us your questions. Send us your updates. We got an update today, and that was fabulous. We've been begging people because we give advice and we want to know how it turns out. I mean, were we wrong? Were we right? But you can also DM us on Instagram at Bachelor Happy Hour. All right. Now let's bring in our guest. Please welcome from Jones Season and America's favorite, Mark Anderson, and my good friend.
Hey, Mark, how are you?
I'm great, thank you. How are you, ladies?
Hey, great, buddy. So good. We hear you've been under the weather.
Yeah, I got caught up under that bug that went around.
Influenza.
Influenza?
I had it. Kathy had it. I think everybody in the world has had it.
Yeah. Well, it was weird. I went and got tested, but they said it wasn't the flu. It wasn't COVID. It was just...
No, I didn't have the flu. I had bronchitis and some weird virus. 2 prescriptions of antibiotics later. Finally felt
they
better.
First told me I didn't have it, and then I did the other test 3 days later, sick as a dog, and I had it all. Bronchitis, influenza, it's whatever.
Okay,
8 days from hell, that's all.
It's all, but we got to jump right in. Give us an update on you and Barbara. That's what the world wants to know.
I want to know how you met.
Oh, I know how they met.
I want him to tell me.
Okay, Mark, how'd you meet?
How did I meet?
Well, not us, Barbara.
Oh, I was going to say we met at...
Yeah, we know that.
We know how we met. We want to know how you met Barbara.
Yeah, I got invited to we met at a Halloween party. It was just kind of neat.
And that was that. You're so shy. Look at you.
Okay, we want to hear what's going on.
Beans. I laid eyes on her. I got so excited.
Let the man answer in his own words, will you please?
Oh, I mean, it's kind of neat. She has kids the same age as my kids, and there's just a lot of similarities there. So it's
nice. It's comfortable.
So how do you guys spend your time? Do you kind of go back and forth? How do you do that?
What's that? Oh, yeah. I mean, I work. I'm in Louisiana. I work here. I got all that stuff here. So. I do travel quite a bit. We've been able to meet up a few places, like Christmas. We got to go do a great time together with Christmas. And just had a lot of fun there.
Well, it was great seeing you at the finale and at the party and getting to meet her. She was lovely.
Yeah.
It was a good time. Good time.
Well,
and your daughter,
your daughter, Kelsey, how is she doing?
Kelsey is doing great. Her and Joey are keeping, super busy with everything. Joey's still doing the Dancing with the Stars tour. So
I got to see her. They were here in Philly.
Yeah.
And I got to go see them.
Oh, awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know they're one of my daughters and I believe my oldest son are going to try to see him in San Antonio.
Wait a minute. When are they coming to San Antonio? I'll have to look that up. I live in Austin. That's only like less than an hour away.
Yeah. Well, that's where my oldest daughter lives. She's in Leander.
Oh my gosh. That's like 15 minutes from me.
Yeah.
I didn't know
Kathy, it was
that.
a great show. You'll enjoy it.
Oh my goodness. All right. I'll have to look into doing that.
Have you seen the show on the road?
The show's changed like every location. They do an entire new show.
Oh, they do?
It's so like you can go almost every city and see something different.
Susan, why don't you come and we'll go to San Antonio?
Well, it depends on what it is. Sure.
Okay. So I want to know, if I'm not digging too deeply here, how do your kids, I don't really know since your wife passed away if you've had a lot of serious relationships, but how are your kids doing with you and Barbara together? What's their thought? Because, she has children, as you said, and you do. Tell me about that, how it's working out.
They've been, they were very supportive, having to ask them. That was before I ever went on the show, on the Golden Bachelorette. So I asked them if it was okay for me to date, and then if it was okay to date on TV.
Just a little detail.
Yeah, just a little larger detail there.
Yeah.
But it was, they were very supportive in that, and it's been a while, it had been 5 years, or 6 years actually.
It'll be 6 years for me on Monday.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
So, at the time it was 6 years, when I left for the show. So it was, it had been a while, and they were supportive. We talked about it. I had not really approached that subject with them.
Well, maybe you weren't ready,
That's it. It's like I wasn't really ready to talk to them about it, because how do you approach that? I mean, I'm not trying to replace their mother. She could never be replaced, but, it's a tough thing to approach. Yeah.
An eye opener when you got on the show, like you met all those wonderful men that you bonded with and Joan, and it was openly dating because everybody was dating her, but it was a whole new thing for you, correct?
Yeah, it was, and, it was the opportunity to have that support group of men, and to open up because, I grew up in the military. My entire adult life has been military related, and sharing emotion and feelings and stuff like that that's not the time or the place to do stuff like that. So, to have that opportunity there at the mansion and it's just a fantastic group of men. I don't know that, I could probably try to find a similar situation to go into, but I don't think you know could. That it'd ever be the same, Well, I mean, it was
Pascal shared with us that he would definitely choose you to be on that deserted island,
Susan,
because
I was going to ask him.
You gave him calmness. Like if he would be excited, he said, Mark is so smooth and nice and easy. He loves you, but you would calm him down.
Yeah. Yeah. Pascal. Yeah. I mean, Pascal's got he gets kind of excited sometimes, but if we can sit and talk, it's just a lot of fun.
He said that y'all were telling bedtime stories at the mansion. What the hell is that about?
He said CK, right?
More.
Wasn't it CK
Give us more.
that needed him?
Yeah, it was. They different rooms had different dynamics going on. I wasn't in the same room as Pascal. I was over in the big, in the big.
You had our room.
You had our room.
Yeah, the 9 of us in there. So
9. We had 7.
Yeah, only for a week.
Well, yeah, it thinned out. It seemed like our room emptied out faster than the others.
Ours emptied out 3 the
because
first
we
night.
had the most.
But yeah. Wow. So
what did you think when you first got there? Like, what was your feeling when you moved into the mansion? Like, what were you thinking?
Yeah, it was. Wow. What am I doing?
Kathy and I met that first night. We're standing by the fireplace after everybody got in right before the rose ceremony and said, okay, here goes. Like, check this out.
Yeah. It was, it was like Pascal. I think the first person I talked to, I don't even know. I remember walking in, and everybody was already, because I didn't know, what ranking I was, like what number I was getting
out of the limo. Yeah.
So I just knew that I was in the limo, and I got to go there with Kelsey, which I don't even know if that was comforting or not. I think I was more nervous.
Yeah.
because
she was already a star.
Yeah. So that actually brings me to a question that you must have just read my mind. A few years ago, you were a private person. Kelsey was a private person. Now both you and Kelsey are in the public eye so much. And I mean, truly, like that, Bachelor Nation stars, but I would say even stars beyond that. What is that shift like for you and your family?
I mean, it's very different for me because I've always been like, I was always private. Like I had a Facebook account, but I had Facebook because my kids had Facebook.
Right.
And it was just to make sure they were living right, you know,
Right.
online. And but my kids used to tease me that, you know, I'd have like 12 friends on Facebook or something. I'd be like, I
Yeah.
don't know who that is. And I'd delete them and they'd make fun of me for, you know, Dad, no, you're supposed to have friends. And it just,
You delete them.
you know, now it's completely different, you know.
What about your other kids? How do they, you know, the kids that aren't in the limelight, if you will, how do they feel about all of this?
Oh, they're good. I mean, they're very supportive, you know, of me and of Kelsey. You know, I think they're a little bit more reserved, you know. They're all so different in personality and, you know, just the way they are.
They're beautiful too. I met every one of them. They're just a great family.
Yeah. But they're, you know, they maneuvered through how they have always maneuvered through. You know, I don't think I've changed any.
But your life certainly has.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, you know, you go out, like you travel somewhere and somebody sees you in an airport and they want to take a picture or something. You know, I mean, that's,
Oh, that's a change.
Yeah, it's a change. It is.
Do your kids get along with Barbara's kids? Are they, you know, have you all sort of formed one large community, if you will?
Yeah, I mean, there's a big difference. You know, you communicate through social media and text messaging and stuff like that. Yeah. So I'd say that there's connections. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bring spring to your door with Target Circle 360. You really only need one reason. Just ask one of the right financial foundation and grow stronger and
first month.
Go to Future Health
and concessions for better.
But you know, it's kind of neat how you can kind of.
Are you comfortable with strangers coming up to you and asking for your picture now?
Does it still surprise me? Yes.
It does. Yeah. You're not used to it yet.
But you know, it's kind of neat how you can kind of pick out now when someone's they're like,
oh yeah.
Well, I love the ones that are looking at their phone and looking at you.
Yeah, and all of a sudden
I go, it's me.
Yeah, that happened to us. Okay, so just on a little more serious note, so you know, I lost my husband to suicide, as I know you know, and you lost your wife to cancer. What advice do you have for someone who's going through grief and loss? Because I get asked that a lot. What advice do you give to people if they ask you that?
Just give yourself that time. You know, give yourself some grace, give yourself some, you know, some opportunity to grieve, give yourself that opportunity to go through those stages.
Yeah.
And, you know, pay attention to them. You know, you can't, shutting out the world isn't the answer.
Yeah. I always say you have to walk through grief to get to the other side.
You do have to walk through. That's 100%. Yeah. But you have to do that walk at your own pace.
Right.
You know? Like for me, it took me a while. I had tried, you know, family and friends are always helpful, right? With trying to push you along and guide you through.
Yeah. But if you're not ready.
But if you're not ready, you're just not ready.
Right. Totally agree.
So it's, you know, you have to go through it at your own pace, which is important. Like, you know, you'll learn quickly if it's not your pace. You know?
Yeah, very quickly.
Well, I'm so glad you're on the other side, and I'm so happy that you're in a happy place. Have a beautiful, healthy family. It's time to live.
Yes.
So now we have what we call the question of the day. So I'll read something and we're all going to answer it, and we'd like your input. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Today's question of the day. What's something you wish you knew about kids when you first became a parent?
That's a good one.
So, you know, I used to say, I wish they came with a book of rules and a book of instructions, you know?
Yeah, right? Like a little tag connected at each phase that would change with them, you know? I wish I knew how much they would remember.
I can't believe you said that,
That's
Mark, because mine
beautiful.
is very similar. I wish I had known that it wasn't the big gifts. It was the time spent with them that they would remember, the little things that they
The
would
little
remember.
things. It's a little thing, you know, and they remember, the little things. They remember the little, the eaches, you know, like you create a memory, you create a tradition, and they remember those.
Right.
And if you change it, you know, without a reason or without letting them know, it can cause some strife sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely.
We
That's
were
so
interviewed. I believe it was Jordan that said he wished or spend more time with your parents. Wasn't what did we ask him,
I
Kathy?
think it was Jordan. What he wished he had done or something. He
or
said
what
he wished
advice
he
had.
He wished he had spent more time with his parents, which, you know, I wanted to send my children airmail letters. I mean, my kids are great. I see a lot of them, but I just think that's so important to spend time with your parents.
Yeah.
Okay, so on a lighter note, which of the guys from the Golden Bachelorette would you like to see as a potential Golden Bachelor or on the beaches of Golden Bachelor in Paradise?
Ooh.
Now you're off the market.
Yeah, you're off the market. Mark, it's not you.
As Golden Bachelor, like
any of them? Maybe not.
Any of them. Like how?
Any of them.
How can you choose?
Dan's fantastic.
He's a lovely man. He is a super nice guy.
Such a wonderful person.
Yeah, he is.
Greg is probably one.
Oh, but I hear Greg's off the market.
You know, he's
could be rumors. You don't know.
Yeah, Jonathan would be great. Greg would be great. Dan would be great. Michael would be incredible. Pascal, Jordan, Pete.
You like them all. You're naming them all. Okay, you're not a good answer on this one.
Honestly, like you say, who would be a good one? And then all of them would be.
So they should the Bachelor in Paradise, should they all be there?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Who would you fix Susan and me up with? Oh, God. Who do you see Susan and me with? Not to put you on the spot or anything.
Yeah, really. Be careful, Mark. We're friends.
Be careful, Mark. We want to be good friends.
I would say the person with the strongest personality would be the one that I would not suggest for Susan, but with Kathy.
Wait a minute. Say that again. The strongest personality for me? Mm-hmm. And who is that?
I don't know. Whichever one has the biggest personality.
I am stunned. Why do you say that? We're in Psychology 101 here. Why are you saying that?
I just think that would be a good match for you.
A strong personality man. Mm-hmm. Give me a name, Mark. Let's go. Listen, I'm not disconnecting
Mark,
this call. Just spill,
yeah,
Mark.
All right. So I think for Kathy, I think Keith.
You know, Keith and I had a very interesting conversation on the golf course when we were in Carmel. Yeah. He's actually, he's a funny, bigger than life guy. But when you really talk to him, he's a really down to earth, sensitive.
Great.
He's got a lot to say.
Nice guy.
Great guy.
But his personality is big.
Yes, it is.
That's why I think Keith would be a perfect match for you.
Okay.
And moi?
And Susan, I would say either Greg or Dan.
Oh, that's so interesting.
It is. I really didn't get to speak with Greg. Dan is a sweetheart.
Greg has such a huge personality. It's a huge personality, but he's subdued with it, right? Like he's so quick-witted. His jokes are always on point.
I love a joke.
So, he is so smart, and he is so. He's just full of information, you know.
That's cool.
And I just think, I don't know, Dan is like super sweet, but he's not as
loud as me.
Yeah. Greg's.
And I agree with you. And that kind of person that I am, somebody could be quite the opposite, but they have to be okay with somebody with a big personality. Yeah, I get it.
Okay, so here's the thing. If there's a Bachelor in Paradise, Keith, if you're listening, you owe me a date. Okay. And Susan, Dan,
I'd have to
you
fight
get
Edith.
two. You notice I only got one.
Knocking me out.
Yeah, you notice that you got two guys. I only got one. So
and they're both Florida guys, so they're like, got that.
We love Florida.
Going.
All right, so now that Susan and I have dates, we're going to move on to our fan questions, Mark. So we're going to read. I'm going to read a question, and
we're going to give some advice.
You're going to give some advice, okay? All right, here we go.
All right.
Logan, who is 34, writes, "Hi, ladies. I need your advice. My wife and I just had our first baby, and my mom has been begging us for years to have a kid and has spent so much time with our 4-month-old. It's amazing. Now, out of absolutely nowhere, she told us she's moving to Idaho next week. For context, we live in New York in the suburbs, and just days ago, she was looking at places in our neighborhood. The decision feels so 180 degrees and out of absolutely nowhere. My heart is crushed because she spends so much time with us and our baby, and now it's going to be so different. There's no change in her mind because she said she can't afford living in New York anymore and needs to move to a cheaper state. I get it, but what the heck? This decision is so quick. We found her cheaper apartments here, but she already signed a lease and booked a one-way ticket to Idaho. And before you ask, no, she doesn't know anyone there and has a great friend group family here. Seems like she just wants a fresh start, but my feelings are really hurt that we weren't really considered. Any advice for how to not build anger and resentment towards her in this decision? I know she needs to do what's best for her, but this one hurts. Go, Mark, go.
Why do I have to be first?
Because you're the guest.
Because you're on the spot and you're the celebrity of the day. Go for it.
Don't overthink it. Just exactly how you feel.
I mean, it's, so first, for whatever reason, Idaho spoke, right? I mean, she went so far as to get a new place to live, and there's something that drew her to Idaho. So
I agree.
It drew her to Idaho. It is their child. It gives them an opportunity to bond with their baby a little bit more. The grandmother is always going to be a grandmother. Mm-hmm. Maybe she just thought that she was taking over too much, a parental role with the grandbaby. Support her in that decision to go to Idaho. She signed a lease. Maybe it's only a year and she'll be back in a year.
That could be, but he shouldn't have resentment towards her.
No,
I don't think resentment would be.
It's a little. I got to say though,
it's shocking. Why
I have
across the world.
You don't have grandchildren yet, Mark, right?
No, I do not. Not yet.
Okay, so I have two, and they're 6 years old and 2 years old, and they both live here, and I would walk on hot coals for either one of them. But having said that, once Keith asked me to marry him, I'm moving to wherever the hell he lives in California. But that's what airplanes are for. I would fly back and see my kids. But I think I would have a hard time picking up and leaving my grandchildren for no other reason than, quote, I need a cheaper state. I mean, I think that's
why
tough.
Idaho. I agree with Mark.
Well, let me just tell you, Boise is one of the fastest growing cities.
Okay, but she might have met somebody that she's fond of. Who knows? That I would be more interested in why she chose that state or that Idaho, than why she was leaving. She said she wanted something cheaper. Maybe. What was his name? Logan.
Why didn't you go to Fargo, North Dakota? Is my answer.
Maybe Logan is a little spoiled having mom watch that baby all the time. There's where the resentment comes. You're losing your babysitter and your mother. That could be that.
That's fair, Susan.
Yeah.
What do you think,
maybe,
Mark?
Maybe she was thinking that they needed time to be parents. If she was spending that much time
But
with
Idaho from New York? I mean, isn't that like hitting the belt? Like how about Alabama? I mean, you're still on the East Coast.
How about Philadelphia, Pennsylvania?
Nicotine pouch. We're still America's #1 choice for smoke-free, spit-free nicotine satisfaction. It could be because Zyn is made with only 6 simple ingredients, including naturally derived nicotine salt. Or maybe it's because Zyn is the only nicotine pouch that offers a robust rewards program full of premium items and experiences. For anyone worried Zyn won't cut it like traditional tobacco, just ask one of the millions of people who have achieved lasting change. You have lots of options when it comes to nicotine satisfaction, but there's only one Zyn. Discover Zyn online or in a store near you at www.zyn.com/find. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
Behind every successful business is a vision. Bringing it to life takes more than effort. It takes the right financial foundation and support. That's where Chase for Business comes in. Boost productivity with all the banking tools and resources you need, all in one place, and always just a few taps away. We're here to simplify your workday and help you find the answers you need so your 2025 JP Morgan Chase &
Subscribe to provider's discretion.
In golf, precision is everything, on and off the course. PGA of America chose advanced 5G solutions from T-Mobile for Business for smooth operation.
With Dan. I'm
calling Dan, by the way.
All right, Mark, before we let you go, which we don't want to because, we want you to plan our dates with Keith and with Dan. I'm
calling Dan, by the way. Do you have his number?
Wait, let me just say, Mark, you understand somebody's going to pick up on this and I'm going to get a Google alert tomorrow or whenever not tomorrow, but whenever this comes out. Kathy is dating Keith and Susan can't choose between Dan and Greg. That's what's happening here. Just putting it out there. Okay.
Yeah.
I just need somebody that plays golf. That's all.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to play a little game with you. We're going to ask some fun questions so our listeners can get to know more about you. All right, here's the first one. What would be the name of your autobiography?
I'm thinking.
Let him think.
How about thinking? That's a good word.
I'm thinking.
I'm thinking. I love it.
The turning wheel.
Yeah.
I'm
There you
thinking.
go.
I'm
Like
thinking.
Oh, I thought it was going to be
thinking.
turning wheel.
No, I love it. I actually like that title. I'm thinking. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, Susan, you got a
What
question?
did Pascal say his was? What Kathy guessed for Pascal? She said something about fashion.
Fashion. I thought it was good. I mean, I said my name is or I am fashion. I thought that was good.
Okay, next question. Who is someone that inspires you?
Someone who inspires me. My mom.
How old is your mom?
87.
God bless her. Still
God
here.
bless her, really.
How about
In
you,
Fargo,
Kathy?
North Dakota.
Oh my God, are you serious?
Nuh-uh.
I
That's
did
why
not
when
know
you said
that.
Fargo, North Dakota, I said, I thought you were
I
reading
did.
my profile.
I did not know that. Well, how's the cost of living in Fargo there, Mark?
Great.
I did not.
That's where I
did
grew
not-
up.
No way.
Yeah, I graduated high school in Fargo, North Dakota. Fargo South High School. Yeah.
I
Nice.
can't believe that just popped into my head. I had no idea you went to high school in Fargo. Oh, that's so funny. All right. What is a piece of advice you wish you could give your younger self?
Just keep doing what you're doing. I went through life doing, thought about things and did them. And, I think the choices I made, I'm good with them. I like them.
You don't have any regrets?
No, because things that I didn't do right, I learned from them.
Mm.
That's true.
That's life. Yeah.
if you have a perfect life with zero regrets, how do you ever learn?
Damn,
It's
he's
the
a
ones like me
philosopher.
that don't learn from their mistakes.
Well, yeah.
That's all, Susan. That's a whole nother podcast.
So
That's
my
called-
answer to that would be, don't sweat the small stuff.
My answer would be, don't be nervous to try new things because you never want to feel like you could have, should have, would have, and fear
Regrets.
kept you.
Yeah.
And that fear kept you. Don't let fear stand in your way.
Yep.
Okay. Your favorite band or musician when you were a teenager?
When I was a teenager,
Mm-hmm.
Van
Or
Halen.
now. It could be now.
Van Halen. Okay.
Van Halen. Interesting.
Who was yours,
Okay.
Kath?
Always the Beatles. Always when I was a kid. Actually, and I love Chicago. The band
Yeah.
Chicago.
Yeah, well, we all do. I like Led Zeppelin, The Who. Yes.
I just
that
love
was my
music.
era.
I still love music. I have music
Yes,
going
so do I.
all the time at my house. Okay,
Yeah.
what's your
I mean, it's-
dream?
I think
Go
it's hard. I think it's not very fair to say who's your favorite.
I know. There isn't a favorite.
Like,
Hey,
I
Mark.
can name off.
Who's your favorite woman that you're dating right now? That's fair.
I guess that would be a fair question.
There you go.
That would be a fair favorite.
All right. What is your dream vacation destination?
Dream vacation destination is I think Fiji, the hut above the water.
I
Nice.
want to go there. That's what I
Right.
said.
Yeah.
I want to
Kathy,
go
it's
there.
very still and quiet. There's not a lot
I can
going
be
on.
still and quiet, Susan.
Not for the whole vacation.
I don't know about that, Kathy.
You just told me you want to hook me up with Greg. Not Greg.
She already forgot.
You forgot.
Keith.
Okay, with
Keith.
that being said, Mark,
Keith.
if you were going to be stuck on a deserted island and could only bring 3 guys from your season of The Golden Bachelorette, who would they be and why?
It better be Pascal. He'll kill you.
Yeah, it's Pascal, 100% Pascal. Next would Keith, because there's always a conversation with
He'll
Keith.
be with me. Try again.
Oh, okay. Then Jordan.
That's 3.
Yeah.
No, seriously, Jordan, Keith, and
Only
Pascal.
3.
Yeah.
And could you tell me why?
Why? Yeah. Pascal, I think Pascal and Jordan were the first ones that were the first men there that I connected. Like I have a son
Okay.
named Pascal and I have a daughter named Jordan.
Yeah,
So it was
right.
like
so
instant-
that
It was like instant.
You have a
purpose.
son
cool.
named
That's
Pascal?
cool.
I do. My oldest son is Pascal, Pascal.
Oh my gosh, I don't think I knew that.
that's
Wow.
cool.
Yeah.
That's
And,
amazing.
But we just clicked, the 3 of us, I think.
That was like us.
Kathy, Nancy, yeah.
Yeah, that was like us.
yeah.
There's actually a picture. I've said this before on our podcast. There, I don't remember how, but there is a picture of Susan and me standing in front of the fireplace in the mansion,
First
in the
night.
room where they delivered the roses, that big room.
Mhm.
And I remember taking the picture, but I don't actually remember meeting you, but we clicked immediately when we were in the mansion.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's like you meet people and just like right away but it was like, I think that was, I mean, probably not everyone. Like there were a couple guys that, like they just weren't there. The ones that left real early,
You
really
didn't get to
meet them,
know
didn't
them,
really get
yeah.
a chance to talk with them too much.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what?
Which would've
Everybody
been
talks
great.
a lot about Michael. And did you get to know him? Because everyone talks
Yeah.
about how nice he is. And I've talked with him a few times. He seems like a lovely guy.
Fantastic human being, Michael.
Yeah, that's
Like,
what everyone says.
You
That's so
know,
nice.
and then he just kind of kept to himself about the whole, the process,
Being sick,
the
yeah.
stuff that he was going through while
Yeah.
he came, yeah, it was Michael is a fantastic human being. Like his heart is just pure gold.
Yeah.
Pure gold.
That's so
Well, coming
sweet.
from you,
Well,
who
we
seems
love
to have a
you.
heart of
We
gold.
think your heart is pure gold.
Thanks.
So,
We do.
I mean, with all that, we're going to leave it on that note because we have thoroughly enjoyed having you. And you are a super great guy. But unfortunately, that is going to do it for this episode. I'm going to
They're
cry.
so
Of
fast.
Bachelor I know they go so fast. But this episode of Bachelor Happy Hours Golden Hour has been a fabulous one. Thank you to our I could use all kinds of adjectives to describe you, but I'm just going to say our
We love
fabulous
you.
guest, Mark. We love you. We are so happy that you seem to have found love, and we just are so happy that you joined us today.
I just
Well,
want to
thank you
follow
for
in your
having me.
footsteps and just find my love. That'll be perfect. Thanks so much for being here with us. We love you, and we will definitely be in touch. And thank you all for listening. And make sure to follow Bachelor Happy Hours. We have new episodes coming out every week that you don't want to miss. You're getting to know all of these people like we do.
Right. And how fabulous are they? Okay, I'm beginning to sound like a broken record,
Yeah.
but at the risk of cracking the 45, I'm going to say, you know what? Nobody knows what a 45 is except us old people, but that's okay. Make sure you submit your questions to us. All you have to do is go to bachelornation.com/golden hour or DM us on Instagram at Bachelor Happy Hour. We really, really do want to hear from you.
And listen to Bachelor Happy Hours Golden Hour on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Till next time, take care.